Welcome to the sermon of the day. Mhm. Enjoy. Do we still have Jonathans in this world? And do we still have Davids in this world? Who can appreciate the Mephibosheth? Interesting? Yeah, I know you know where I'm headed to. It's a story that involves these four characters. That is Jonathan, Mephibosheth, David, and Saul. And here I'm talking about Mephibosheth, the grandson to Saul. There's the Mephibosheth, the son to Saul, and there's the Mephibosheth, the grandson to Saul. The story is simple. How did Jonathan and David's friendship grow? When David was anointed to be the king of Israel, Saul saw a bigger problem coming in, and automatically David became an enemy to Saul because Saul knew his kingdom or his kingship or his rulership is at the helm of getting off and all that. And at any point, with the human mind, he thought David can stand and reclaim the rulership because he was the duly anointed, the rightfully anointed king of Israel. And Saul uses every means possible to try to bring David down, either to kill him or to destroy him. But the ultimate uh, way was to kill him. And Jonathan is Saul's son, who is the rightful heir to the kingdom. If Saul dies, then the person who will take over from him is Jonathan. And now Jonathan had all the reasons to why he should defend that kingship. He had all the reason why he should support his father in destroying anyone who poses any risk of him not getting to that throne. He had all the reasons to why he should kill, you know, he should kill and put away any person who proves to be a danger, who proves to be a heir to that kingdom, if not him. But that is not what Jonathan chose. Jonathan chose to respect and obey and understand and accept God's will and walk towards protecting God's will. How did he do that? Every time the father could plot against David, Jonathan could leak those secrets to David and even guide him to where he can go and hide, where the father will not find him. It's becoming interesting. Yeah, he could not allow the father to get hold of David because he knew what the father will do if he gets hold of David. I remind you or remember, this is the guy who is or who will inherit the kingdom, who will become the next king of Israel just in case Saul dies. But he chooses not, he makes a choice not to be blinded by what he will become when his father dies, but he opens his eyes to understand what God wants for the people of Israel. If God wanted him to be the heir to that kingdom, he wouldn't have anointed David. But because God never wanted Jonathan to be the king of Israel, he anointed David. And Jonathan understood that. And he was ready and he practically defended that. Can it happen in this generation? Can it happen in this generation? My father is a king and I'm a rightful heir to that kingdom. Then someone else comes in and is anointed by God to take over that. Bro, I will fight it. With a human understanding, you'll fight it. And that is what is happening in this world currently. You see presidents who are remaining on the seats forever. They don't want to let other people rule. They don't want to let other people take over. And they will plot and do anything possible to destroy those counterparts or their opponents or their oppositions just for them to remain relevant and those remain in those seats forever. I know there are very many presidents you can mention, not only in Africa, but the world at large. I know there are very many of them that you can mention. But that is not what Jonathan chose. Jonathan chose to defend, he chose to protect that which God had anointed and set aside for the purpose of ruling Israel, because he knew God had a bigger plan than the plan that he and his father has, or than the plan that he can personally have. Then it happens that David is saved. It happens that Jonathan and the father Saul gets himself involved in uh, in the fight. Then both die. After their death, David mourns. That's why I asked, are there Jonathans in this world now? And do we still have Davids? Saul was a number one enemy to David. But at any given point, David is not planning to destroy him at any point. He had a chance in the caves at Adullam to kill him, but he never did that. The guys that were with David are telling David, now you got a chance to do this thing, to end this man's life once and for all. He's been scheming to kill you, but you have a chance. But what does David say? No, don't point a finger at the anointed man of God. Which wisdom was with David to know that he should not commit murder? David leaves it. And when Saul dies, David weeps again. David cries. Like, why has it happened that way? Then, David eventually becomes the king of Israel, a rightful king of Israel, or he now sits on the throne of Israel and becomes the king of Israel. And for some other time, he asks himself, he remembers all that Jonathan did to him. He remembers all that. And he asks a question. Is there anyone still left in the house of Saul to whom I can show kindness for Jonathan's sake? He remembers what Jonathan did unto him, and he wants to repay back the goodness of Jonathan. And he recalls, is there anyone left in the house of David? Because house of Saul, because he understood the house, most of the people in that house were destroyed. Everything that belongs to David, to Saul, was destroyed. Is there anyone in the house of Saul that I can show kindness for Jonathan's sake? It's because of the good that Jonathan showed him. Now he's willing to do something for the sake of Jonathan, to show kindness for the sake of Jonathan, to repay back the goods that Jonathan showed him. Jonathan protected him from the jaws of his father. He protected him from the schemes of his father. Now he wants to show some kindness. So beautiful. Do we still have leaders who can say that? Do we still have them who can say, is there still someone in so-and-so's house that I can show kindness for the sake of the kindness that the Father showed me? Or once you're there, you forget everything. We'll say we're humans, and sometimes we miss the mark. Okay. And this is where now Mephibosheth comes in. Now there was a servant of Saul's household named Ziba. They summoned him to appear before David, and the king said to him, are you Ziba? At your service, he replied. The king asked, is there no one still alive from the house of Saul to whom I can show kindness, God's kindness? Let's hear what Ziba said. Ziba answered, he is at the house of Machir, son of Amiel, in Lodeba. So King David had him brought from Lodeba, from the house of Machir, son of Amiel. When Mephibosheth, son of Jonathan, the son of Saul, came to David, he bowed down to pay him honor. David said, Mephibosheth, at your service, he replied. Don't be afraid, David said to him, for I will surely show you kindness for the sake of your father Jonathan. I will restore to you all the land that belonged to your grandfather Saul. I will restore to you all the land that belonged to your grandfather Saul. And you will always eat at my table. Mephibosheth bowed down and said, what's your servant that you should notice a dead dog like me? Then the king summoned Ziba, Saul's steward, and said to him, I have given your master's grandson everything that belonged to Saul and his family. You and your son and your servants are to farm the land for him and bring him crops so that your master's grandson may be provided for. And Mephibosheth, grandson of master, will always eat at my table. Now Ziba had 15 sons and 20 servants. Then Ziba said to the king, your servant will do whatever my lord king command his servant to do. So Mephibosheth ate at David's table like one of the king's sons. Mephibosheth had a young son named Micah, and all the members of Ziba's household were servants of Mephibosheth. And Mephibosheth lived in Jerusalem because he always ate at the king's table. He was lame both feet. He was a crippled guy. You get that? The story becomes so much beautiful with the way King David is rewarding Mephibosheth for the kindness that their father Jonathan showed him, to a point that everything that belongs to his grandfather Saul is restored unto him. And he's told, just like the sons of the kings, you will eat at my table, you will eat with the king at my table. What a beautiful story. What a beautiful story. What are some of the things that you're learning from this story? What are some of the things that you're learning from this story? What are some of the things that you're learning from this story? You can get the whole story in the book of Samuel, 2 Samuel, chapter 9, from verse 1 to 12, and continue reading it. Are there Jonathans? Are there still Jonathans in this world? And do we still have Davids in this world? What are the lessons that you're learning from this story? Let me hear from you in the comment section. Keep on subscribing. We're here to learn, and learning never ends. It's until we die, then we stop learning. But as long as we live in, learning never ends. I love you all, and God bless you.